Motion for a second.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor? So, we actually do have some meeting mail. It's not on the agenda very often. Got a letter from Attorney Ralph Lewis III. Basically, I'm not going to go into it too much detail other than that of the adjacent family off of the 15th fairway. Fairly new residents, I believe, to their property, essentially complaining about golf balls that tend to stray into their property. So at this point in time, we've received it, the Board of Selectmen has received it, we're all aware of their concerns. Basically, given that the letter did come from a law firm, speaking with Julie, the town has referred this letter to the town attorney. The town's attorney is going to reach out to their family's attorney just to kind of see, just to confirm what their concerns are, if they have any remedies in mind that they're looking forward to. We want to be good neighbors, but we also have to be good stewards of the golf course as well. So at this point in time, it's just, the town's attorney is going to reach out to their attorney to see exactly what they would need for potential remedy, and we'll move on to that. Dave DeRoche, Selectman DeRoche and I went out, looked at the property last week together. I know we've been up there with Dana and Steve and Isaac as well. And really not quite sure what we could potentially do at this point, other than just kind of visualizing and seeing what's going on. And really just wait to hear from them what their true concerns are.
The house across from the brick house.
Correct. That's the Cape style house, it's right on, not the one near the two barns, the one I live in there.
I know, but where kids sells golf balls. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. What do you do?
I know it's a...
I mean, it was something about agreement with the person that built that house, that he wanted a fence plus the arborvitae and we complied with it. So if that's been explained to the wife, you guys talked to her about that with the road.
He said that he was going to be looking back through some original files from when the golf course was built, because there might be something in writing to that effect. Might even be something in the deed of that property when it was actually first developed. So, they hadn't found it yet, but they were certainly looking for that, to see if there was. Because absolutely, if it's something that has to be written in the deed, well, then then there's really nothing to complain about at that point. And I'm not saying that there is, but that's what's being investigated.
I think the purpose was to put the arborvitae is to grow tall and then we have other things to stop some of the vulgar life. It's like, I don't know. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with it or not.
Both Julie and Dave DeRosa said they were looking into all the original construction documents and files and everything for the course for that. So that was last Wednesday, I believe, that I met with them. So I'm not quite sure if it's the past week that they found that. We have no appointments. Business. FY21 revenue year to date. I know we're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Page 3 shows where we are through April 26. So our rounds we have significant, we did quite well as well.
These are just the just the March, April year to date was a bit of a kind of a plan for the March, April plan, never mind what we back in the fall, last
Sure.
summer.
And right now, the business seems to be going very well, and May and June, if the weather's good, we should have a fantastic.
I've been by just a couple times, but it's been busy every time I've been there, so that's good to see a steady stream of our players still showing up.
Get your tea time early.
Yeah. Or late.
That's right, some of my neighbors,
Forget the weekends.
I don't want to use the word complaint, one of my neighbors said, I said, no, I wanted to go play the other day, and there were no tea times available. I said, well, that's a good
Yeah.
problem for us, a bad problem for you.
Have a good day.
I just heard an article this morning about how there's a golf ball shortage.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was a
There
shortage.
still
No,
is.
and-
They ran out of material, and they finally got it back, and now they're going like crazy again.
I heard there still is a shortage, so.
Okay, all right, I'll call you back when we get out of here.
So some outside, I got a couple of.
So do I. I gotta find out fucking dates. When I used to coach the kids, I'd pick them up and give it to them.
We could drag the pond at 14, that's probably 1,000 of them in my hand.
Yeah. How is the time together?
So the next is the FY '22 revenue and expense plan.
Page 4 of our handout has the revenue projection. It was the same, the revenue projection is the same as FY '19, but I included the $2 increase approved by the Board of Selectmen. So I have a monthly breakout, so we'll be able to monitor ourselves to plan, and the total would be 32,000 rounds, and the revenue projection is 1,411,000. And page 5 is the expense budget that goes along with that. The bottom line is 1,505,470, and 100,000 comes from our reserve for unanticipated expenses, and the 1,405,000 comes from our revenue projection.
Anybody have any questions about next year's revenue or expense plan? I know it's pretty much the summary of what we went through last month as well, what have we done to the selection and finance committee.
Just have a vote to approve of
Also, can I get a motion to approve the FY '22 revenue and expense plan? Can any make that motion? All seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next is the pass holder purchase program.
And just bring this to everybody's attention, page 6. Dana called, brought to Mandy to my attention that the pass holder sales are way above plan. Our plan was to do 95,000 in pass holder sales, and through April 26th, we've done 135,000. He was concerned of whether we should be cutting that off or not. So I went back and reviewed the amount of pass holders sold versus revenue for the last 10 or 12 years. And it's averaged between 9, 10, 11, and 12% of our sales are pass holders. So, do that, and I guess the point is we had no problem accommodating those pass holders into our fee schedule without affecting the revenue. As you know, the pass holder revenue hits the bottom line when we sell it. So if we're selling now in FY '21, A lot of it gets used in FY '22. You might have an impact, but it looks like we get somewhere around, the most we did was a 14% in FY 2011. So we're not that far off the target. The recommendation that Dan and I made to Dana was to keep selling the passes, and we'll see how things go.
As long as we have the capacity to let people redeem them, I don't see any issue with still having it out there and receiving the revenue when dollars available to us.
Yeah, why you can, right?
Most of those people that buy those books, I noticed that they share them. They really, a lot of them just don't go out as singles, so they go quick.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Like if you're a guy in a company, and he'll take three of his helpers out, and that's, there goes four, one tea time.
Yeah,
What we have is guaranteed revenue to us, so I mean,
That's right.
I don't see, I don't presently
I
see an issue with that.
that's what we're doing. I'll make the motion to continue sales through June.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item. Outings and a request to restrict state dinners.
Yeah, that was, Dean brought that to Mandy and myself. Having a concern about being able to serve the state dinners and not having issues. We kind of gave him a blank check to manage the outing. We agreed to accept outings per his recommendation. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, and that there's some issue with the country club where things were shut down or closed down. Yeah, we had some COVID. But, and the concern is our revenue's doing so well, we don't want to get in a situation where it might jeopardize future sales or tea times or whatever. So we suggest that we hold the outings, but that we just not give any state dinners out at least through June.
But still has to be rolled off, I'm guessing, right?
Right.
Before it gets in the
To
dogs,
deal
the
with
drinks.
one-on-one
Yeah.
type of thing, but not a big people getting in line.
Now, Mary, not to bring up, it isn't all the situations at the country club from inside. I mean, in other words, inside their pro shop, inside their clubhouse. Like, we don't have any of that.
Was just restricted to the club.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna be opening up in the restaurants and all, they're putting the things up and full loading
August
in
29th.
restaurants.
May 29, we're gonna go up to 200.
Well,
And,
none of our ovens have more than 200 people, that's for sure.
And,
And we'll be outside.
and then August 1st, even more than
That's what
regular.
I'm saying, I mean, so why does he wanna shut it down? Don't make sense.
Well, he shut it down because he wants, like we do some in May, it's still under the restrictions.
Well, well, I can
So
understand
but we
it,
should
but I
open
mean,
up to do whatever you want to do.
but when they open
After
up
August
the restrictions, I don't see why he has to stop having the outings.
Well, I think he just said only until the end of June we'll go back to what we should be going back
We'll
to.
open up.
Correct. So you're only looking at May.
I already request for July, but plan to.
Yeah, well, that's past June, and that, I don't think
And
that's.
it's not having the outing, it's just not offering a steak dinner that they all congregate under the tent afterwards and sit down with a steak dinner. It's like, okay, if you want your burger or a hot dog afterwards, then that's fine, but you just wouldn't offer the steak.
It's only for one
The
group.
serving matters is comes to the back there. You can't put a buffet line, self-serve, and he doesn't have the personnel to have everybody in that station to serve themselves. And that's one of the things that comes under the protocol up to May 29. Then they open it up for a little bit more, and hopefully, we can do the, right after August 1st, we can, whatever we do.
It's my understanding that, on the money side of it, it's not like we're making money on the sticker. It's actually the draw or the outing, as long as the outing is still there,
Right.
that's where the money is. If somebody is buying a burger and a beer or a soda, we'll take that money.
Oh,
Because-
fine beans are so expensive, I don't know if you have any experience.
Exactly.
Prime rib is like $12 and something an hour. I mean, by the time you slice one, you can sell a damn steak for $20. You gotta go to $25, $30. And, that puts a lot of pressure.
And I think the people who are having the outings are just happy to have the outings at this point, since we have so many canceled
Some of them
last
do
year.
go out, but
Yeah, a lot of them go out. I think he has more smaller steak dinners there than big capacity.
Right.
I don't think last year didn't do anything.
I think he was trying to look for a number lower, that you can do the small ones, whatever they want. And, that I think should okay.
I don't think over the next 2 months, somebody's now going to cancel on us if we say, what do you?
No, when you have a party of about 30 people, 40 people, that I think one wait staff can
Yeah.
serve two items, so therefore you don't have to have the same amount of people they have in the buffet line. And you can control it that way.
Motion to approve this request?
Yes.
What was the date we were approving it from?
Fiscal 20.
So just through June.
Just through June.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
We can revisit it then.
we
So we have a
we have
motion.
one coming up on it. So, but I don't think that one should be any problem as well, because outside you can serve more. It's in, and John's gonna do a climb board, that's the next one.
Yeah, right.
We got a
Son.
motion? Yeah, John is gonna do a climb board.
I make a motion to go until the end of June with Dana's request.
Please start this thing. John made the motion.
Second.
Manny is seconded that. All in favor? We have a request for John to have a clam boil. Have a clam boil in July.
Yeah, that's the one. John has called me and I talked to Ed about it. And then when things opened up some more, because we were up, and then started talking with him, the count was low. I guess his delivery saying, calls me and then John, in case of rain, John was gonna bring his own tent and add 2 hours, and they could expand to serve everybody in the tent.
Just for the end of an outing?
It's a league.
It's a league out.
I'll leave it, okay.
It's one of our representatives. Now, from what that day, they bring about close to 10 grand.
Yeah, that's a full out.
So, yeah, for us, not for John. John does his own,
They does his own thing, we don't have anything to do with that.
nothing.
He brings his own gas, he washes his own gas.
Has 75 players, and most of them bring their wives,
Right.
so it's a full field.
So essentially letting them then run their own food operation for the clam boil. I know they've been a big lead with us for a long time, a steady lead.
It would be a good thing, we do something about it. And we'll let
So that's gonna be my next question, so the ancillary stuff, such as the drinks room would still be us.
they don't really, because they operate them now.
Correct.
He doesn't even have an auction or anything like that. I think he has a few prizes he gives out. Besides that, that's it.
But Dana will control it.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
I think like you guys do, John, I think that's the best idea of all. You put up a board, you pick all the prizes and you put them on the thing and everybody knows what they're gonna pick.
Get the heck out. Yeah, get out.
That's the bad, that's the great.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion to accept that for July.
It's dated July 29th, July 30th.
One of those.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Article spending update. I think that might be the last page of our handout.
Just to give you an update of where we are, page 7, Article 9, which was May, town meeting on May 13, 2019, the town approved a spending of $150,000. Through FY 2020, we spent $46,529 of that money. We have a balance of $103,471. And Article 9 again, on a special town meeting on November 14, 2020, we appropriated another, town approved another $80,000. So we had a balance of $183,471. The Board of Selectmen approved on December 4th, 2020, $52,000 worth of capital items to spend. And year to date, we spent all of $57,700. We actually were leaving a balance of $131,265. On March of 2021, they authorized spending another $30,000, which was for asphalt and the 2 areas, put the isolation valves, add sprinkler heads, cut down some trees. But we have a balance as of right now, we spent about $20,000 of that cash already. And it looks like that's on track as far as I can see. And we have a balance of $100,065 that we can use. So the question is, what do we do? And based on this, the next item is that we have right now $100,000 of reserve for unanticipated expenses. It looks like we've met all of our revenue coming, so that also is available if we choose to make a recommendation. We talked about whether we should buy more equipment without leasing or borrowing or whatever. So put that out there for us to decide what we want to do.
I got a question. I mean, I haven't heard, I don't think anyone's heard lately, probably a few years, about the pumps. You know how we always have to, where do we stand with the
Pumps or the wells?
wells?
The well seems to be holding up.
All right.
I have no idea what's going on.
Nobody complained with any of that.
No, I know, but
There was a while back, I think, where you're right, where it was one, and then another year.
And another
we had
one,
to
yeah.
recondition the other one, and then they were concerned about the depth of the shallower one, or something.
It seems nothing's done.
nothing's been brought up yet.
I don't know, things have settled down.
We have a problem with silver.
So, yeah.
And, but I guess that's settled. Allow us to go through that.
I know, expressing my own opinion from before, is that if there was some equipment, in my mind, like longer term equipment, not something that you turn over every couple of years anyway, but if there's something that we would keep longer term, and that would be the time to just buy it instead of just getting to a recurring payment. So, an example of the tractor is already almost 20 years old, if we would buy another tractor and expect to get 15 or 20 years out of it. My mindset would be that would be an example of something to buy instead of putting it on the lease and getting to recurring payments. Because we know we can keep it for a long time. If it's something that we're only going to keep for 4 to 5 years anyway, well, then maybe that makes more sense to just lease and turn it over.
How about,
Altogether, so between Dana and Steve, I mean, we'll really be up to them in conjunction with us, at least how they either prioritize a list of either some pressing needs that we should address right now, or just there for pressing some money.
One of the problems we have, and Matt and I have, is we gotta find a way for him to get rid of the junk. Because he runs out of space, he keeps everything. Buying new, and he keeps the old one. and he's running out of space in order to put stuff in.
Junkyard.
So we gotta find, we gotta come up with some kind of solution. Apparently he doesn't come up with one. And we,
Can't we, that stuff like that, can't you put it on, a bid list? We've done that in the past. Why don't we go in there, whoever,
Well, I
and have him
heard-
put the stuff that he doesn't, doesn't want, and he wants probably everything.
so he wants it, but in case one breaks down, he says he can run the other one. So if you can run the other one, you don't even know it.
You're right.
I mean,
But
takes the one out of the other.
We had the capital list we put together
Right.
about 3 or 4 years ago. Suggest maybe at our next meeting, we have a discussion on that, see if there's something we should buy. Get a priority list from Steve Linden, and see where we can go. On the reserve, either spending the 100,000 reserve funding with selectmen's and finance committee approval might be the way to go. But one thing I know that I think it's about $70,000 is the grinder and the bed knife sharpeners.
Yeah.
They're both about 38,000, and that's a 25 year item, so might be something we would absolutely consider purchasing outright. Get that behind us.
Yeah, he's always seemed to, that's been on on his list constantly, so, yeah.
He said the barrels are wearing out.
But you
and they're
can't
not
write
getting
that.
any- No, you can't replace it.
No, you can't write it,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
The real issue is that it doesn't meet OSHA requirements.
Oh, no?
The safety shields and things needs to be updated, so. One thing when Trump was in business, I don't think OSHA was going to be doing too many surprise inspections, but now we're about, that
Little more.
just might take place.
Maybe that's an example of, I know Steve needs to update the proposal to confirm where we could get that from and what it would be. That's probably a very good example of a high dollar item that gets a long life out of it. So now with this good year that we're having, it's a time to take advantage of that.
To the purpose. The other thing the last time Andy and I met with Steve was the gas tanks really are getting old and need to be replaced. Looking at the capital item, that we estimate the fuel tanks at $20,000. So we asked him to get the fire chief involved, do an inspection on it, to see what needs to be cleaned, how to go about replacing it.
That's been there ever since day one, correct?
The pesticide building also is all rusted, but we seem to think we should be able to sandblast it and repaint it. The building seems to be intact, so in good position, so we asked Steve to get that information and continue to pursue that. So, want to put that on the agenda for the next
Exactly, yeah, we'll have that next meeting. I think there's a short list from Steve and Dana, suggestions that they would have things that, are realistic and that we can tackle in a short time frame as well with this, that'd be a big grant,
Right,
something that, okay, what could the cost self-really benefit from right now?
What do you think Dana needs? Does he need anything? Because when it comes time for Christmas, Steve gets a big bundle.
But
And
the one thing on our agenda with him is to eliminate the golf carts from the driving. Parking. And him and Isaac came up with the idea of eliminate the car path storage shed. Put a fence around it and basically rearrange it, and also put a practice pitching area and bunker area. somewhere in that area, and I believe, and I asked him to put a schematic together, sketches to get all cars involved. And so that could be big goal, but it's not something we purchase. So I'm thinking ahead for, if there's a fall town meeting,
Right.
for us to be putting together items that we can get have another capital appropriation based on how well we're doing this year.
Right.
That might be a big one. And it might be, Dana's rendition of it was kind of a low, least expensive alternative. Mandy and I mentioned to Steve, and Steve's already got big grandiose type thing. So we might want to bring both of them together and get a real rendition of where the clubhouse is, how it should look to eliminate golf carts on the parking lot and still enhance other things, services for the golf swing.
Right.
And it could be a fair chunk of change.
I mean, that's.
And I told him we set an objective of next spring. So put the plan together, get some funding if we need it, do it in the fall and be ready to implement it in the spring. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We even suggested that we would make the buzzing thing, the green there, we cut the sod out of the actual, we have now.
Right.
And that's one expense that we would not have. It's just cut it and like it.
Right.
So, got the rest of the year for them to figure out how to do it. And we can prevent it in the spring. A couple other things thinking about for the fall town meeting is, me and I talked to Steve about part path on number 8.
It's a mess.
How to go about replacing that without destroying the rest of the golf course. So originally they recommended actually having access behind the green. Get DPW to come down the road there, access road, and enter there. And he's supposed to coordinate that with DPW and see what, either replace that car path or actually redesign a layout around the back of the green. So
I know, it floods. So why don't, this might sound stupid, but why don't we just put a bridge, path, right in that general area?
you know what?
You know what I mean?
Talking
It's-
about going all the way around the wet area.
Yeah.
Around the green,
Right?
On the left side.
on the left
And
side.
move with the ladies' tees, move it to the left side.
All right, so we're more closer to the farm.
Right. Not moving them around
Yeah,
the back.
okay.
And then I suggested, and another one that I thought might be stupid, but I suggested to them, to Steve, if where the car path is now, if we dig a big trench to catch the water that comes down from 9 to 9
Right, yeah.
and that will be in that trench and then pipe it into the waste. Or he says he would do it, go into the, behind the,
7?
where the waste area is,
Yeah.
in the middle there, go
Yeah.
behind there and throw in the woods. Move the water that way so in front of the green it won't be so wet. And it wouldn't get flooded there.
It's always wet there. It's a lot lower too. And that's a low area on the golf course.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the lowest
Yeah,
areas.
that was what.
Yeah.
Because, from 9, that water comes right
Oh,
down.
yeah, 9 and, yeah, you're right. Right off of 7, so, with there's water always in that general area.
Oh, yeah.
Off 7 to the right, there's always water here.
Well, 7 still has to be a little bit higher.
7's
And
high.
and 8 is the higher, but
And then you go to
1.5.
8, elevation drops.
I remember playing over there, they feed up with that from around the white tees and the red tees, completely flooded with water.
It's a good idea.
Because of that water runs out of there.
A woman's tee on 8 is always wet.
Yeah, move it to the left.
Constantly, yeah.
move it to the left, you can make it big enough so we can put the other two there,
And
the
they-
forward two.
You're gonna find a lot of balls in the swamp there.
Yeah.
Absolutely, no, I would love to see the pond.
Pond?
Yeah. Bring that area and make it a pond, put a liner in it, we dig it out, put a liner in.
Anyway, we got Dana working on eliminating parts in the parking lot. We got Steve working on the solution to the car path one. Other items, we did replace 3 isolation valves, those are back. We recommended Steve that we identify 3 more, again, possibly for replacement in the fall. We got the replacement of the fuel tanks. And the other area that we got in to take a look at is whether we could put a comfort station out in the cornfield, somewhere around where the Porta John is now. You can see where the new park area is, that Steve has created a laydown area.
Right, I saw that, yeah.
It's almost a perfect area for a comfort station.
Yeah.
So the question is whether we can actually put a septic system in or there, or we need to use one of the compost toilets.
Right.
And there are a couple of those on the Cape now. One of the suppliers is a beautiful building. And we asked Isaac and Steve and Dana to go down and scout those out.
Where are they at?
Down in, it's in Sandwich. I'll send you the website.
Oh, okay. Just curious.
But those are two bigger buildings that I think we could do for that.
I got a question on the, go back to the, he marked off trees there, you guys saw those, right?
7.
There's like 6 of them. Then he asked me about it, maybe a month ago. So he says, go take a look at them. Now, there's 3 of them that are towards number 8 that I don't see a reason why he needs to take those down. I can see the reason the ones that shade the tee box on 9
Yeah.
come down.
Yeah.
So there was like 6 or 7,
Yeah.
but there was 3 along the cart path right there. So why are you taking,
Right.
what?
Did I send you the picture of showing the shade on the leaf green?
Oh, is it a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I'll show it. So
Oh,
in the
okay.
morning sun,
Yeah.
those trees block the green from getting the
The
early
ones
sun.
that I'm talking about, those
Yeah.
3, really?
But you can see that,
But it hasn't,
you can see Danny and I having a decision
no,
on that.
but the thing is,
Or a recommendation.
it hasn't done anything to the green all
No,
these
no.
years. So why take it down if you don't need to? But
Because I like trees, that's simple.
yeah, Paul Bunyan. But anyways, you know,
But that's where we're,
then I mentioned to you guys about that tree on number 4 that's dead
Yeah,
on the tee box. It's still there.
yeah.
he just wants healthy.
I'm waiting for it someday, yeah, wait, one day when it was about 30 miles an hour and the top comes off,
That tree's been up for a while
a
now.
long time, yeah.
No, but even now, the bird tees, we took that big one, the cluster there, that was,
Yeah, I saw that.
that looks nice now.
Yeah, it does,
We
yeah.
asked them to move the tee, make it shorter, put some grass there,
Yeah.
and, because that's a big tee just for the, still not done.
Kind of flowed into the green discussion, but then anything
You
else?
a big stick.
Yeah, we have a couple of things.
Maybe take out the help.
The Greens Committee discussions, one was when we completed the asphalt on 15, we had to take the gate down. The gate open up. And Steve is proposing that we use a sliding gate, replace it with a sliding one, so we get easier access. both to the Porta John and ambulance if we need to get out there. And I got an estimate of $4,100. And because it's open, Nina and I said go ahead, so we really need a vote to authorize that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that makes it, when they open up, was we get the guys running
Yeah,
through.
right, so it just slides instead of opening it up both sides. Yeah, that's,
So, I thought it was a great idea.
that's a good idea.
I mean, that, we do something anyway, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do it anyway, so,
I might be as well. What do you want to
and
do?
if it makes that guy that's got the problem with the balls a little bit happier, so that would help too.
Right, to put that back, we got up long.
Yeah,
You need a motion on that?
Sure, I want to make a motion.
sure, make a motion that we,
Manny made the motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
John seconded, all in favor?
The second one, the Greens Committee is looking for authorization from the rest of the committee to review any new hirings, and for us, Nancy and I to give approval to go ahead and hire those people and let the town administrator and the board of selectmen know that way. And right now, Dana has 3 people he wants to bring on board, 2 bag boys, Zach Morrow and Alden Pacheco, and 1 starter, Mike Nunes. And he said that he's going to get phone coverage starting next week with either Tyler or Lee, his daughter. So they will be providing phone coverage. But I think as you give us authorization to bring people on board as they need them. Steve is still looking for help too, so.
It was, yeah,
As long as we got it in the budget.
this is only season, yeah, well,
Right.
those guys work minimal hours, so I
Right,
don't
right.
think that's an issue.
No, and it's a way to have it reviewed without waiting the whole month for
Correct,
a meeting.
correct.
So I don't see an issue, that would just keep the process going with town hall to get somebody in if they find somebody new, so.
As long as the phones are monitored, you know, he wants
That's-
it,
That's the
been
point,
one of
that's
ours.
the point we've been making very
it
clear.
better happen.
How many ranges do they have out there?
Rangers, Bobby?
The only reason I'm asking is, one of the personnel on the finance committee complained to me that the rangers aren't doing their job, and the golf course could make a lot more money if the rangers were hurrying the people along like they're supposed to. And she was complaining like heck, that her husband was complaining about it. And so I figured I'd bring it up to the committee and see what's going on. She said that the rangers aren't,
well, we don't have actual rangers, we just simply started out there to check it out. We don't have any rangers in the payroll. I mean, it is what it is. When you stack that, every 9 minutes, you actually should have 2 rangers. One in the back, one in the front.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
most
what,
golf courses
that's
do
what,
that.
I guess that's what this person's
But
husband was complaining
what is
about.
gonna happen is we grow with our payroll again, and they're gonna have to pay more for play.
Well, like she said, if the play was a little bit faster, we'd be making more money, you could afford the rangers.
Well, I don't think you can make more money now because we send them out every 9 minutes.
Every 9 minutes, that's
pretty tight.
that is very, very tight.
That's tight.
Most places it's 14 to 18 minutes.
Yeah, I heard of that. Definitely.
So I said up to at least 14, so I mean, we're going 9 and that packs them in, Bobby. I mean,
Yeah,
and
no,
if you
realize.
get one,
I figured I'd bring it to the attention
No,
to
but it's,
the, I mean, it was a complaint, so I'm gonna bring it to
It's a couple of
the.
things that happens over there that beyond our control, unless we had a ranger station right here. Number 3 hole, everybody has a big shot and they can't hit the green, so they stack up there. waiting for the green to clear. That is a par four. They should be playing that hole like it's designed to be played. And send that ball down, but down into the, but no, everyone that goes over there, they think they're Superman and they want to hit the green. So that's a delay there. And that's about one of them.
The biggest delay is on number 7. That is a major delay there all the time. You don't see the guy after he goes down.
Yeah,
That's another thing. Maybe we should put one of those ringers out there.
yeah.
You know, slap the bell.
And then they wait till they're already putting before they even.
Right, you know what I mean? Because once those people go down, I don't know if they're there.
It's the same on 5, too.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly.
That can try to roll you.
Well, I mean, it's not, right near the car pad, just, when you go by. I mean, a lot of people won't do it, but there'll be a lot of people that will do it.
We got one that becomes a problem.
Yeah, just one at reservation too. It's a dog leg right, left, and you gotta hit them because people hit into it. People hit into it,
Yes, that's the only one I have been hit by somebody one time.
Well, you don't see it.
Right, no, I don't blame them. They couldn't.
Like Ed said, even on number 5, you have to take the cart, go up on the hill there
Right, to see around the
to
corner.
see, and wait to see when you can hit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times there's people in that right corner there,
Yeah.
right where the mound is, you don't see them.
And if you do hit, you feel bad, or they yell
Well,
at you.
yeah. And the next thing you know, they hit the ball back at you. That's not a good thing.
So we need a motion to authorize, to approve Greens Committee authorized part-time.
Someone make that motion? I make the motion.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Tom, all in favor? No, maybe, just thinking back to the potential slow play at times, there are areas that stacks up and there's true slow play. I know Dana's mentioned it before, maybe just a reminder to people that, they could call into the pro shop if need be and send the starter out if there's a real particular instance. Short of having 2 people all day, every day, patrolling around that we can't really afford. But just a reminder that if a truly behind you because it's way too slow, just call into the pro shop and they can send somebody out, on demand as opposed to go.
You get people that hit the ball out to the woods, and half a dozen of them, they're out there looking for one ball, looking for a ball, but,
They don't follow the new rules, 3 minutes now.
Yeah.
That don't happen. 3 minutes, it's like 3 minutes per
That's
force.
another thing that slows down.
Yeah.
3 minutes, 3 minutes, until I find a good pro lead.
That's right,
Then I have to go.
Yeah, you're right. You got that guy,
Got to replace my one ball.
you got the guy out there with the freaking water thing that goes from me to Manny's window over there. So what's this guy, fishing? The thing is like, it's like 20 feet long.
you
What's he
lose one
doing?
ball and come out of there with about 6
Oh,
or 7
wow.
balls, full balls.
Yeah. It's gonna make it worse now that most people know there's a golf ball shortage, so that's even more of a situation. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll start looking even more.
How do we retrieve ours? Send the diver down there? How do we?
Diver,
retrieve-
right?
I never get it, but nobody ever asked me. How do we retrieve the balls from the pond? Send the
There's no
diver down?
diver?
There's a diver.
Didn't he just do
If you
it
go
now?
to the clubhouse, you see a big stack of balls,
Yeah, I see it
full
there.
asphalt,
Yeah,
and we sell $10 a dozen,
yeah.
$10 a dozen. $10 per dozen.
And the last thing is, we sell sometimes the same ball 3 or 4 times. That's a real good profit.
Yeah, that's 300%.
And we also, just for your information, John, we gave Dana the responsibility to mark his sprinkler beds.
Oh, good.
So he's working
Oh.
with Steve to find out what
Oh,
kind
okay,
of
good.
markers, and
Yeah.
he'll go out with his scope.
Okay, good. That's something we need.
And they're gonna put the other ones, the 200,
Yeah, okay.
150.
They all need to be redone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Well, that'll help speed up something.
Some of them are so faded, they
Yeah,
all look white, you don't even have a 150.
So we're gonna.
Oh, that's good, thanks. That'll help situations where some
He's
people.
gonna order new maps for the driving range. They'll achieve that for the.
Okay, good. That's good.
Hopefully, the weather keeps holding up, the players keep playing, and we have a good
Yeah,
next 2
well,
months.
they supposed to be gonna rain out, but I'm sure they're gonna like it.
It's raining, but not much.
You want to schedule our next meeting? May 27th?
Everybody available for the 27th?
I'm okay. Thursday, right?
Yep.
4 p.m. here.
Yeah,
That's the owner.
yeah.
You can't fit here, we'll put it in my office, huh? Breaking one. All the rules. All the rules.
All right, so May 27th at 4 p.m. will be the next meeting, then it's a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second, somebody?
Second.
Second, right. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.